All right, let's talk about the options we have to change how we deal with the cartoon effect. And what we have here is we have our detail threshold, as I mentioned before, which pretty much gives you the ability to really preserve your details by going all the way to the left, or really going to a more painterly look or a cartoony look when you go all the way to the right. So I'm going to put it right back in the middle. Now our fill gives us the ability to change the smoothing that we have inside of the fill itself. So the quality of the fill can be changed when we change our shading steps and our smoothing. So I'll go ahead and knock this all the way down to nothing here. All right, and you see that we have a more posterized look to our footage. And I'll go ahead and slowly but surely go all the way to the right, and you'll notice that there's much smoother blending going on between the different steps, and this works hand in hand with our shading smoothing. So I'll go ahead and knock that down, and I'll knock it all the way up, and you see that they really have to work together. So I can go ahead and knock the steps down, and I can increase my smoothing shading, or I can go all the way down here, and I can increase or decrease the smoothing shading. So they work hand in hand to give you different results. So if you're going for a more cartoony feeling, a woodcut kind of feeling, or anything like that, then you want to have a very low amount of shading steps and also a low amount of smoothing. But if you want to have a very contrasty feeling, but still want to have more of a smooth feeling, then go ahead and increase this slider here. We also have an edge category that will dictate the black edges here around our object. So what we can do is we can increase the threshold of that edge, and this threshold, just like up here, determines what is actually considered an edge or a place that After Effects will place an actual black line. I can go ahead and move this threshold all the way up here, and the higher the threshold, the more things that After Effects says to itself, okay, this qualifies for an outline. And I'll go ahead and put that back down. The width goes hand in hand with the threshold, of course, so I can increase or decrease how thick that black line is. So I get some very, very nice details if I go around my here, and a lot of very thick lines if I keep going to the right. We can also affect the softness of that line with this slider. So as you can see here, we're blurring out that line quite a bit. And we also have the ability to increase or decrease the opacity of that line. So we have a almost invisible line, but it's still there, to a line that's completely opaque. And we also have some advanced categories, so we can go to edge enhancements, for example. We can go to the black level of the edge itself and really bump this all the way up to get a very, almost like I said before, woodcut kind of feel. And we can increase or decrease the contrast between that as well. So there's a lot of things that you can do to really make the cartoon effect more subtle, or almost like a painting. So just play around with these. As I say, with many of these effects, the sliders that you change here and move up and down will always change based on the subject of your film. In this case, we have a cat, so we have a lot of edges here as opposed to what we would get with something else like a chair or human being.